You are now listening to the greatest radio show on earth, DJ Lucky in the mix.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for listening to my live podcast. Today's episode will be Confessions of a Whore. Now, if you hear some weird noises in the background, remind you guys I do have a bulldog, a poodle, and a parrot here with me at the studio. Today we'll be doing an interview with a real life whore, and she will be giving out her confessions and etc, etc, etc. So I hope you guys smoke a joint, relax, and enjoy, because I'm stoned. So let's get into this. So, your dad died at a young age, and that's what made you get into drugs and all of that?
Uh-huh.
Wow. I mean, how was the I know it's a horrible experience for a lot of people, but can you physically describe how you felt, like when that moment happened?
I was just bad. I don't know. I don't want to do it.
And using drugs is the way you cope with your pain?
What?
Was using drugs the way you cope with your pain?
What now?
What?
Would you say that physically what now?
By doing drugs, is that the way you dealt with your pain?
I did then, not now.
Oh, and what got you into the whole having sex for money thing? What was that about?
What about it?
Huh?
What do you mean, what about it?
Like, how did you get caught up with that? Are you really sexual, kinky? I mean...
I'm just a really sexual person. I was once a lot as a kid, and, I don't know, I can just separate sex from real life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I do it as a career because everyone wants to fuck me anyway.
What was your first sexual, kinky experience?
I don't talk about all this.
But what really made you, like, let go and say, I'm going to enjoy myself and do this,
I don't enjoy it all the time.
You don't enjoy it?
It's not, at times I do, but not usually.
When you get customers, do you ever get, like, hot guys and you feel like, oh my god, today's my lucky day?
I can't hear you.
Is there every time when you get a customer and he's like a really hot guy and you feel like, oh, today's my lucky day?
Yeah, every once in a while.
What about, is there ever a time where you get like a really fat, ugly guy and you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
I don't look at people like that. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing that makes me, like, really disgusted about a person is if they're creepy or if they're mean or if they stink.
Have you ever got a stinky person?
I look at people and I see them for who they are and not for what they look like.
But have you ever got a stinky customer?
Yeah, I just smell weed.
You smell like weed?
I just smell them to weed.
Oh, damn. Hey. Have you ever got a weird customer?
A what?
A weird customer.
Oh, lots of them.
Like, what's the weirdest guy that you remember?
I had this guy that I used to have to take baths in food, like in cream corn and weird shit.
He wanted cream corn during sex?
He made me take baths in cream corn and talk dirty and like rub him with my fat rollies and then fat cheating bitches, and he's weird.
How much money did he pay you for that?
I think I was making like $300 an hour.
Whoa, $300? That's not bad.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, because I mean, you could either have sex with him or just rough.
I never had sex with him.
Wait a minute, hold up. If you hear some snoring in the background, that's my bulldog. Hold up. P Monster, shut up. Wait a minute. So this guy literally paid you $300 And he didn't want sex?
Nope.
You were just rubbing...
He wanted to feed me, watch me bathe in food, for me to tell him how hungry I was, and rub food all over me, and, like, he was just weird.
But...
yeah.
What about...
And for me to beg him to make me fat.
And he was he like masturbating, jerking off? Like, I want details. What was going on?
Yeah, he did.
And where did
he rub on himself? But he was weird. I don't know what the fuck his problem was. Obviously, I think he was molested by a very big fat lady, or his mom was a big fat lady. I'm not real sure.
Was he Mexican? Was he white?
He was into the thought of feeding a woman until she couldn't walk, and she was totally dependent. Totally dependent on him.
Yeah, but was he black, Mexican, white? What was he?
White.
Was a white guy?
Uh-huh.
Would you say the majority of white guys are into fetishes, or everyone is?
Everyone is.
But, I mean, how often do you get these weird customers that they don't want sex and they just want some weird fetish shit?
Lots of them.
You get what?
Lots of them.
Really? Do you get annoyed by that, or you're like, fuck it, as long as I'm not fucking them, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that?
I'd rather not fuck them and do that than fuck them, you know what I mean?
What about, like...
I'm a really good actress, so I can play anything off. Like, I can be dominant, I can be submissive, I can, you know what I mean? I'm just good at doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
but...
I can think something's really weird, and no one would ever know that I was totally disgusted by it. They would know. They would think I was turned on because I'm a good actress. That's why I do what I do.
Now that's very interesting, but is there a certain line that some customers try to cross that you wouldn't cross, that they get too creepy?
Yeah, of course.
Can you tell me, like, an experience that you had that you were like, whoa, that's too far for me?
Yeah.
Like, is there, like, anything, like, that's extremely uncomfortable for you, like, that you try to make you do?
I don't like anal.
They want an anal?
I don't like that.
But how much were they willing to pay you for anal?
I don't know.
I mean...
Lots of guys want anal, and I don't give it to them, really. I just don't do it.
But I'm talking about the disturbing customers. Like, maybe did he want anal and you shit on his dick or something?
I've never had that happen.
So the guys, as far as weird goes, they just want you rubbing food, sauces all over them and stuff like that?
It's just weird, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. That's pretty weird. But I always wonder what type of guys do these. Like, I mean, are they lawyers? Are they hard workers? I mean, who are these people that?
I get all of them. I've had cops. I've had correction officers. I've had teachers. I've had everything.
And they confess it to you that they were policemen?
Yeah, I knew that they were policemen when they came over, because I knew them personally from I worked at a convenience store where they were regulars.
Wow, and cops just pay for sex and they get kinky and freaky too, right?
Yeah, they're just freaks. They're just people.
I mean, we are all humans anyway. Nothing separates us, but that's very fascinating. So interesting. What about pathetic customers? Have you ever had any pathetic customers like that? They can't pay for the sex, or they try to trick you into something?
Yeah, all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the most ghetto customer you ever had? And maybe he tried to rob you or do something sketchy?
No, never.
You haven't had one yet?
No.
You ever had a guy that had sex with you and then he tried to run out the door without paying?
I had one guy one time, and he paid me half, and then he wanted me to continue to stay, and I did. And he wouldn't bust a nut, and he was like 5 hours later. I'm like, I'm leaving. I have things I have to take care of, and I was sick of playing games. And he tried to take the money and tell me he was going to pay me the rest of the money, and I took care of that real quick, and he drove to the bank and got the money. Let's believe that.
So you were on to him.
Yeah, and I'm not scared of anyone.
Has anyone ever...
When he snatched up the money, I snatched up his iPhone. I said, look, bitch, and I had 911 dialed on my phone. I said, if you don't get this fucking car, I'm going to call rape. He got in the fucking car and drove and got my money.
Damn. That leads me to my other question. Has anyone ever got physically violent with you?
Yeah.
Like where they literally hurt you and put your life in danger?
Yeah, of course.
Who? Who was he? Mexican, white, black? Who did this?
Typically what? You just deal with it as it comes, you know what I mean?
Did he punch you in the face?
Yeah.
He punched you like a man or
I had a black eye for 2 months afterwards.
Damn. And that didn't scare you at all?
You know?
Wow. What type of sign are you? What's your sign?
A Libra.
Wow, I'm a Libra too. When's your birthday?
September 26th.
So the 26th?
26th, yeah.
So, wow. So it's very interesting because I know so much about Libras. They're so artistic, but you're a type of Libra that...
I am not artistic.
Yeah, I know. You're more of them other Libras, like the last... You're not... Your sign, I don't think it's the balance sign, is it?
The what?
The balance sign, you know, like the little scale?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm very much so Libra.
Have you ever had a threesome?
Lots of them.
You have?
Yes.
With couples?
What happened? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I pushed the wrong button, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Wait, has any couples ever paid you for threesomes?
Yes.
And were they hot or were they ugly?
They're alright, yeah.
Now, how much did
I never had one with anyone that was ugly.
Wow. So would you say your life is fascinating and interesting? Are you addicted to it? Or do you feel like it's coming to an end and you're sick of that life?
It's fascinating and interesting.
It's interesting?
Yeah, I love it.
Because you notice the people that open up to you, that you least expect them to be freaks?
Yeah.
Would you consider it...
Because I'm a narcissist.
What?
I like a lot of it. I'm a narcissist. I like a lot of attention, and I like to be insulting, and that's why I kind of am able to do that without taking advantage of anyone or misleading someone, or, you know what I mean? I get my little, whatever you want to call it, out of my system, and that way I'm not doing that to people in my private personal life, and it's, you know what I mean? It's outright, no one's getting hurt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm really narcissistic. Like, I have to have attention. I have to have things like about me, and to a point where in my past it's been really unhealthy.
Oh,
and
wow.
I've suffered a lot of consequences because of that kind of behavior, and I'm not willing to do that anymore.
By doing all these kinds...
I'm extremely sexual. I don't know what it is about me, but everybody wants to fuck me. But it doesn't matter who they are, man. Child, adult, they all fucking want to fuck me.
Has
and
it...
I just got to a point where it's like, if they're going to treat me like, I might as well be like.
What's the
You know what I'm saying?
What's the youngest guy you had sex with?
I don't know. Probably 21 or something.
He was 21?
Yeah.
What about the oldest guy you ever had sex with?
Like, heading towards, like, 68, 70.
68?
Yeah.
And could he get it up?
Barely.
But did he had a good time with you? Did he get to nut or what?
Yeah. I didn't get along. Got off. Yeah, I'm one of my regular customers.
With the prerogative lifestyle that you lived, would you ever consider to settle down?
I am settled down.
Huh?
I am settled down. You should have seen me before.
I mean, are you dating somebody?
What?
Would you ever? Would it be hard for you to find love or what?
Yeah.
I mean, what happens when you get with a partner? You know, like, do you?
I don't trust men, and unless somebody waiting for marriage for sex, then I wouldn't believe that they love me.
Oh wow. I mean, are you gonna continue this?
I'm a Christian. I was raised in a Christian home, and I believe that if a man really loves you, he'll wait until you're married. You know?
Okay, I'm getting like a bad connection, but so we're doing this live podcast, and as you guys can see, we're talking to this very troubled young female, trying to guide her in the right direction. But you know, sometimes people love their lifestyle regardless of the consequences. You know, and so would you consider this lifestyle an underground sex orgy party?
No.
I mean, because you got doctors, lawyers, cops just hitting you up wanting sex. And, I mean, is it like a rush, like a heroin, adrenaline rush that you can't shake off or what?
No. I don't get a rush out of it. But I do get, like I said, it has to do with being a narcissist. I'm really narcissistic, right? And it's just a way to get that out of my system, and that way I'm not doing it to people and hurting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've done some really fucked up things in my life.
What's the most fucked up thing?
I've been told I'm bipolar. I've been told I have borderline personalities. I've been told a lot of fucking things, but I know I'm in that case.
What's the most fucked up thing you have done in your life?
There's not much I haven't done.
Like, have you ever, like, slept with your best friend's man or something? I mean...
Yeah, when I was 16.
And did she found out?
Yeah.
Did she try to fight you? I mean, what happened?
No.
She never tried to confront you?
She did, and we made up about 3 years ago. She forgave me.
She forgave you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel guilty?
Horribly.
And
horribly guilty.
why'd you do it? Like, why go down that road with your friend? I mean...
I didn't realize how bad I was hurting her because I had never had a real boyfriend or, you know what I mean? And I just didn't understand her emotional, where she was, how she would feel, you know what I mean? And I did it, we were drinking and he was living at my house because she had gotten pregnant and we were with these guys that were in their 20s. We were teenagers. And, she was 16, I was 15, and she got pregnant, and it was me and my two best friends, and these guys and their two best friends, right?
Yeah. Well,
mine and my other best friends, dude had to go back because the job was over that they were up there for, had to go back to LA. So, about that time, my friend Tina found out she was pregnant, so my grandmother, where I lived, where I was raised, said that he could come stay at our house so that he didn't have to leave her now that she was having a baby. Well, we got drunk one night. I don't know what happened. He hit on me or whatever, and I had sex with him.
Did you guys...
what?
Did you guys use protection or raw?
I don't remember.
Wow.
But my brother heard us having sex. And anyway, I told my grandma kicked him out, and so we left on the bus together. He went back to LA, and I went to San Bernardino to my aunt.
Yeah.
I stayed at my aunt's house for a few months and then came back to Washington, and I saw her several times in public, and I wished that she would just kick my ass and get it over with, because I would have never fought her, you know what I mean? Because I felt so bad about what I did.
And
but she never did that. She never even said anything bad to me. She just gave me dirty looks, and we go our separate ways, like on the bus, you know.
Wow.
And then when I was 31 or 2, something like that, I seen her working at a really popular gas station where like where a lot of the bad stuff in town, like kind of like Union, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a gas station there where everyone would like sell drugs and sell their ass, and you know, bad place. Well, anyway, she worked there, and when I went in, I was so shocked to see her because I hadn't seen her since we were teenagers. And I was married at the time. I sent my husband back in to tell her how sorry I was because I lost her. I just cried and cried, and I had cried over like all the years. I cried all the time when I thought about it because I felt really bad, and especially after the first time I was cheated on and I was actually in love because I didn't know what that was like when I did that. I never had feelings for someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't know it. So anyway, he was there and told her how sorry that I was. And the next time I went in the store, she was working again. And she said, "Hey, Rita, how are you?" And we talked, and she was nice to me, and she really had forgiven me. And you know, and then the next time I ever slept with anyone that had a boyfriend, or not the next time, but what was the next time? But after that happened, when I was 24 years old, I met my husband. My husband was with a woman for 8 years. Well, and he was raising her 3 kids. And he was hitting on me for like 3 months, and I found out about her, and I'm like, "Well, who's the girlfriend that hit you up?" You know.
All right.
And then I relapsed on drugs, and ended up. He came in the store, and I had sex with him.
Wow.
And then he had a girlfriend, and after many months of him saying he loved me and he wanted to be with me, and he flipped out about who was at my house and who I was with the night before when he was going home to a girlfriend every night, and then he turned his phone off and left his phone out in the car because he was in a long-term relationship, and why did he say, "Oh, I'm not having sex with her anymore, and I'm breaking up with her, but I want this case with the kids." Well, anyway, I had it after about 4 months, and I opened up his glove box, and I read his address to him, and I said, "Look, motherfucker, if you don't get an apartment in the next like 30 days, that's it. You're not going to have either one of us, because I'm going to go tell her what you've been doing." Well, 2 weeks later, he got his own place.
Wow.
That night, I got pregnant. That first night.
You got pregnant by your friend's boyfriend?
No. By somebody I didn't know's boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
He left her to be with me because I threatened him.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's crazy.
He kept saying he loved me and wanted to be with me, and was flipping out about me being with anyone else, yet he was going home to a girlfriend every night. So I read his address to him and said, "Look, I'm going to tell your girlfriend what you're doing if you don't fucking actually follow through with the shit that you're saying."
Wow.
And he was like calling my work and flipping out and shutting up my house with guns. Like, he was fucking an idiot.
Wow. Yep. That's...
Anyway, I had 2 children with that man, and that man almost killed me several times.
He nearly killed you?
He almost killed me several times.
What did he do?
He beat me
He
so
physically...
badly.
Like...
He was arrested for breaking a no contract order. He was about to go to prison. Anyway, it's a long story, but he would choke me out until I was unconscious. One time he choked me out with the seatbelt to the car and threw me out the car in a parking lot.
In front of people?
I woke up and I was in my pajamas with no shoes on, and I didn't know how I got there.
Wow.
He broke my jaw. He ruptured my eardrum. Broke my cheekbone. He bruised my spleen, or my spleen. He tore my liver. He beat me.
Wow. That is crazy.
And guess what? I woke up one day and he was gone.
And he
Guess where he's at?
Where?
That was the woman that he was with before me.
Oh my God. Now, to come to a conclusion of all of this crazy drama, do you ever feel like you need to go to church to get this bad luck off your life?
I did.
Catholic or Christian?
Christian.
And what happened? What was the outcome?
I'm saved. I go to church. I backslid. I didn't have sex for 2 years. I relapsed and went back to this lifestyle just in August.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't had sex, and I've been going to church. I got saved, everything.
So...
I hadn't missed a Sunday at church for 2 years.
So prostituting... Prostituting is like a drug?
Cell phones made me backslide.
The dating apps, right?
Started with Facebook.
Oh, wow. So, prostituting is like a drug. You have relapses just like drugs. Like, oh, you fall back to the addiction.
I'm talking about both.
I can't
But yeah,
oh, wow.
I'm addicted to it. In a way, yeah.
Well.
It's the money and the power and the control.
Do you ever feel dominant when you get lawyers and doctors calling you for sex or what?
Of course.
What about when females look at you?
I had a man just last month spend $850 in 5 days on blowjobs. It never lasted longer than 9 minutes.
How much money did he blew?
He did $850 in 5 days.
So you made $800?
$850 in 5 days.
What was he? Was he Indian? Was he white? Who's this guy?
A real white guy.
And do you know what he did for a living?
No clue. I don't care. But he's obviously got money. He drives a really nice truck.
And is he good looking?
Yeah.
Wow. And did it turn you on to make him nut for money?
I don't know what the deal is. A lot of guys just come to me because it's a guarantee and they don't have to go through the whole, can I take you out, blah, blah, blah. 6 months later, you might get raped, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a guarantee, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And some guys are like workaholics, they don't have time. Other guys are, they're not, a lot of them have self-esteem issues.
So,
They're embarrassed about whatever weird things they're into. Some of them, a lot of guys just want to hang out, really, and feel wanted. And they'll pay for them. I don't know how well that makes them feel wanted, but when somebody's like that, because I have a hard time hurting anyone's feelings, or anything like that, and they think that they're getting what they want, but really that's going to probably just make their self-esteem worse, that they had to pay for someone's company. I just end up making friends out of them.
And these people that pay for sex, do they go back out to society trying to act normal, or do they eventually end up going crazy, or, you know? I mean, what are the consequences to all of this, to paying for sex?
Paying for sex?
Yeah.
I'm sure if they were doing it all straight up, or a lot of them are married, I'm sure that there's been lots of marriages that ended over stuff like that.
And you don't feel...
I mean, outside of that, I don't really know what consequences there could be. I mean, I guess if you weren't using protection, there could be children, there could be STDs. I mean, but... and even with protection, there's a risk of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, have you ever caught any... Have you personally ever caught any STDs working, doing all this?
No, never.
I
did get chlamydia when I was 15, but that was from a boyfriend.
So that was from your boyfriend?
I was a prostitute, man.
Yeah, and when you got chlamydia, was there any consequences on your body, like any results of it, or was you just went to the doctor and got rid of it?
No.
You got it treated? You got the chlamydia treated?
Yeah. You just take an antibiotic and it goes away.
Yeah.
Like an infection.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's diseases out there that you can't cure. You got to be careful. You know what I mean? And like, there's no guarantee that something's not going to happen. You're taking a risk for sure.
When you prostituted,
you're taking a risk. They say today, in this day and age, in our society, 1 out of 4 people has an STD. So if you're having unprotected sex, you are taking a major risk. And even with protected sex, because there's things like a failure of a condom, or the guy who says he put it on and he didn't really put it on, or he put it on wrong, or you know what I mean? It's an expired one, or who freaking knows what could happen. I know that I've had guys pull out and the condoms stay in me, and all the stuff's still all over the place. So I mean, shit happens. Like you could be as careful as you take your being, you have to realize that there's risk with anything you do. Mm-hmm. Every time I do it, I'm risking my life.
Yeah. Well, that's true. So,
you know what I mean? When a man is out looking for a woman to kill, what's the number one woman that he's going to go looking for?
Prostitute?
A vulnerable prostitute.
To take out his anger?
To whatever they do, to kill them. To beat them, to stab them, to shoot them, whatever he's into.
Wow, that's interesting.
I mean, think about it. How many serial killers went and sought out prostitutes? That's who their victims were. Many, over centuries and centuries.
Yeah.
Prostitutes have been the easiest victims.
Yeah.
But people think of them as dirty, disgusting, nameless, like they won't be missed. Do you know what I mean? And in some ways, it's true.
Has there ever came a time in your life where, you know, you had your moments where you felt on top of the world, but then has there ever been any moments where you felt so down and you felt like you were a scumbag?
Yeah, of course I've had moments like that. I try to kill myself before.
And had you ever had like heavy depression?
I every day I fight depression. I'm very depressed.
Very extreme.
Yeah, I am bipolar, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I don't claim that. I don't, because I'm a Christian. I believe that God's bigger than any of those things, and I just deal with it. I don't take medication or anything anymore. Because if you take medication, well, then when you don't have it, you're sick without it. Fuck that. So I don't do it.
What helps you, or what prevents you from falling off the edge? You know, like, what do you do to overcome this depression?
I pray.
You pray?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty good.
I pray. I read my Bible. I'll recite verses out of the Bible that tell me who I am in Christ. And, you know what I mean? I just one foot in front of the next, pretty much.
Yeah, that's.
You know what I mean? Despite some of the choices I've made and the things I do, I'm a great person, and the Lord loves me. And even in the line of work I do and the things I do, He uses me every day.
Wow.
So
that's a beautiful.
I don't know. It's not God that turns away from us. It's us that turns away from Him. And He's followed me in some really dark places.
Really? So you're very religious?
I would say religious. No, I'm not religious. I don't believe in religion.
So what?
I believe in God.
What do you consider yourself in the eyes of society?
Like religiously, like in my. I would say I would be close to being considered a Christian, but I think my mind is a little bit. I have a personal relationship with God, and so it goes beyond just Christian organized religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well.
Like I get filled with the Holy Spirit, and I have a prayer language, and you know what I mean? Like I can speak in tongues, and I know God well. And anytime I ever need Him, I ask Him, and He'll tell me what I need to know. He always does.
Yeah, that's. You know.
Sometimes I have to wait, and that's where the problem comes in. I have a problem with waiting. Because then I'm like, he'll give me bits and pieces of something, and I'm like, oh, well, here, let me figure out what you're talking about for you. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to wait on it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I had a really great conversation with you. You know, everything that you told me really, it fascinated me, interested me in a lot of ways. You know, the underground lifestyle that you live doing this, and the adrenaline rush that you chase. I mean, everybody has their own personal lives. I'm nobody to judge or change anyone. But as far as for what you got going on, I wish you the best of luck in life. I think maybe one day you'll find your true happiness because, from what you told me, your dad passing away and, you lived a pretty hard lifestyle, and you're still living the lifestyle right now. But hopefully you find a solution to all of this. You know what I mean?
I will. I'm going to heaven.
You going to heaven?
Yeah.
Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys for listening to my podcast, Confessions of a Whore. I'll get back at you guys and for more podcasts. And stay tuned. Thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it.
Hottest radio show on earth, DJ Lucky.